Comfy couch
You are
conversations.
such an angel. Amazing.
What'd you say?
10
It's
out
like
of
comfy
10.
couch conversations.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like.
sorry.
I kind of like
Should
that.
we
I
have,
seen it
like,
on
a
the
little
board and I was like,
do-do-do-do-do?
comfy couch convo.
Yeah. Such a nice. Alliterations are so
It's only one
pleasing.
couch though.
Oh shit, we didn't light up the sign.
I wouldn't
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about
What is it?
it. I ended up zooming in anyways, not really seeing any much of it at the bottom.
You didn't see it in Coda's video?
Yeah, you see it a little bit, but I end up zooming in a little bit so you can get a little closer, tighter shot. It kind of cuts off. If we really wanted it in the video, we'd have to like bring it down here and it's fine. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine.
Fine.
It's
All right.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's really like
fine.
in there too.
Yeah, it's in there.
Drilled it in.
Welcome, Trinity
Mm-hmm.
and Irie.
Thank you for having us yet again.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeti again. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
First
Yes.
one didn't go. First
This
one
is
had a lot of
Diego. Diego
interruptions.
hasn't officially been on one, even though he was on one last time. So he got a trial run.
Yeah.
So now Diego, the world's best 12-year-old dog trainer.
I think we should stop saying best until he titles his dog.
I think that's
No, what?
Yeah, I really do. And you
Fine.
can't be the best. Because there are like 8-year-olds that title with their German Shepherds. Like, you haven't titled. How
you
can
now?
you be the best and you ain't even titled yet?
Fine, I'm a title in every sport.
Okay, chill out. That's a little ambitious. How about you just do IGP first? And
All right.
then be the world's best 12. Well, by that time, you'd probably be 13. World's best 13-year-old IGP titled child.
Nah, I
Yeah,
think
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
I
do it
feel like
before
the best.
September.
I feel like that best part's going to your head.
It is sometimes.
Really?
I feel like it's a bit much. I feel like we should reserve it for when you title.
Reserve it, okay.
Hey, you
I
can
really
be
do.
the world's pretty good-ist.
Pretty
right.
good is.
Yeah.
Almost mediocre.
Kinda. He's all right for being 12.
Hey, he's doing the thing.
He's okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna talk about remote callers today. I know you like to call them ECs.
I do. It's just a good shorthand.
It
It's
is.
not really.
No,
The EC.
Yeah, I do. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like
Every
it.
time you
Caller.
say it, it
The
takes 5
youths-
minutes to register what is she talking about.
I hate it
ECE
when
caller.
people say
right.
shot caller. I'm like, oh,
No.
EC's
Or-
better than saying
Somebody
that.
call it the zapper. Who called
The
it?
zap. Oh, yeah.
That is not okay. Yeah, that's gonna get you some weird looks in public.
Zapper.
Say,
I've heard
Use
that-
the zapper on him.
Hand me the zapper. No.
Hand me
The
zapper.
executioner.
The executioner.
the guillotine.
The guillotine.
I've heard a lot of interesting names and people don't know what to call it. EC's
Well, the
okay,
EC.
but I don't like it.
Well,
I think it makes me
obviously-
think of RC, like the little race car.
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
I
See,
hear
that
you.
So that's where
sounds.
my mind goes first. and
That
so
sounds like a
then-
you problem. Again, the youth in this conversation have decided.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
EC.
you guys are.
Why are
youth?
you referring to him?
We are the youth.
Oh my, we're old men.
Yeah.
You and I, we're very seasoned.
Time out.
He's got like salt and pepper in his beard and shit.
Wait,
So
wait,
anyway, to
wait,
the
wait.
questions. Let's get into this
I just
conversation.
want to know where you stand on the standings as far as the world's most mediocre or best
What?
handler at what age group?
What? Well, 18 and younger, right? Is for that title, right?
Sure.
The young.
How old are you?
How
I
old
know,
are you? Yeah, how old
I
are
really
you?
don't know. Honestly, she has this like
Can I guess?
carefree,
Can I guess?
charismatic
You sure
personality.
can.
I'm gonna
I
guess.
think she's like
I've
she acts
told-
like she's
I've actually-
mid-20s.
I feel like
Melissa,
she's.
you know, right? Because I've told you. Okay.
I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm old.
If I'm guessing like between 28 and 31. Where are you at?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're just gonna say yeah, you're not gonna nail
Oh,
it.
it's higher
I'm
or
just
lower?
gonna be
26.
High or low? Between
26.
29. High or low?
Are you serious right now?
I'm gonna. How old are you?
38?
Why is this even a thing?
Yeah,
Look,
that's funny.
y'all,
38.
we are on.
Guys, I can't pronounce.
We are on a time. So
All right. Well,
my
we've
age
established.
is of no consequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I am young. I identify
I mean,
with the youths.
I feel pretty young.
I'll be honest. You're 32.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Are
Now
you
we have a
younger than
better idea.
I thought you were definitely older than that.
Oh,
Wow.
So she's older than you.
Oh, you did say that in the last podcast, in the first podcast. You're like, she
Yeah.
looks older, huh?
Well, I was like, oh, she must be.
Is it the wrinkles?
Oh, 32.
What?
She's
No.
young.
I was gonna say
Straight
you
up.
are foul
I know.
for
That's
saying
exactly.
that.
That's why I was like, wow,
The
Melissa.
wrinkles.
Oh, amazing, fantastic. Oh,
What is your skin
delicious.
routine?
Yeah, basically. Tequila, I guess.
Let.
I get on it. Okay.
Tequila.
All right, we've digressed.
So.
Remote collar work. You're new to it with Irie.
I
How's it going?
digress.
Irie is the dog.
Irie is a dog.
How is it going? It's going good. Definitely is a new tool that I am still nervous. I've been using it for about a week and a half-ish, 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I still feel like I have some reservations about it, especially since like.
I'm the same way. I've been using it for like a couple months now, and like I'm still like, I rarely use it honestly, but I feel like when I put it on my dog, he behaves so much better because he knows he can be held accountable. But yeah, I've been using it for a couple months, and I still am kind of like that.
This is a question. Did your dogs go through? Because we all use ECs here, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we're EC family.
You see family.
Perfect. Is there a period in which the dog's frustrated before they understand they're
Yeah.
like being held? Like, how long did that frustration? Because sometimes it feels like she has yet to like cognitively click that the buzz is linked to her behavior, and so that's where I also get very paranoid about using it. Is that, am I not conditioning it correctly? I'm not introducing it well to her.
When you say frustration, what do you mean by that?
She'll like scream at me
What?
When you put
in
it on,
in certain situations.
When you
No,
put it on?
no. Actually, she's very good at having it on.
Uh-huh.
That's another reason why I'm like, has she not realized that the collar is the thing that's doing it? Because
Sure.
she'll gladly have it on.
When you say scream at you mean scream at you when you're pushing the button? Or scream at you just randomly?
No, randomly. It's more randomly because I'm trying to like, when we go to our like potty area, and that's a very like, you know, stimulating walk, even though it's like 50 feet.
Sure.
She'll still.
what do you think that is? I think she might be mistaking something for excitement.
There's so many variables.
Too many variables.
There's so many variables that we don't know about what's going on in the situation.
You're right. Yeah.
But I will say this though, I've seen your dog work on the remote collar, or even like yesterday we worked with her and those two Frenchies. And if anybody doesn't know, and everybody knows here, but if anybody doesn't know in TV land,
YouTubeville.
All right. You're gonna need a different referring to the
TV land.
audience. That's not it.
We're gonna get a copyright. TV Land's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Cease and assist, sir. Cease and assist.
no, but so Irie's super reactive, right? And we did some work with her yesterday with a couple of the Frenchies and a couple other dogs, just kind of seeing where she was at. And she did awesome. Like, she did amazing. She walked well. She held her composure. A couple moments where you seen where she got really fixated with the, you know, the bug eyes and whatnot. But she didn't, nobody died, right? Nobody died.
Unless we're both repressing it down, you're right. I think no one
No one
died.
died. My psychopathy, I'm suppressing. Like, holy.
No, yeah,
No,
she
but
did
what I
well.
mean by that
She
is
did well.
she handles it really well, and I do think she has a very basic understanding. I do think we need to make sure that we're doing more things with the remote collar in a less stressful environment, right? Where we're not just like pitting her to the fence and saying, okay, 100 dogs in a parade are going to walk by you, and I want you to be in your best behavior.
Right.
But working on it, whether it's in your living room or maybe just outside your house or in your apartment complex, whatever it is, working on it and just having fun with your dog and working on little things here and there without the competing factors of a dog or a squirrel or those moments that get a real rise out of her, because that's going to help with her overall understanding of the remote collar. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
We're gonna cut out the first yeah. But no, but I do think that, because I talk about this a lot with people when it comes to remote collar, is I do want to make sure that the dog understands what's going on. And we always want it to be communicative and not punitive, right?
We need to dive into that.
We will dive into that.
Yeah, because I have a question there that
Okay.
I am struggling with. So, but continue. I
Fair.
digress.
Okay.
Questions couch.
Questions couch. But making sure that she understands, just like your dog understands leash pressure, right? We went through this whole process of teaching your dog leash pressure. And so when that leash pressure happens, after you've gotten so many repetitions in there, it's not just this obscure thing that is happening when you're out with your dog. Like your dog understands that, oh shoot, I'm not doing something right. Let me offer a different behavior. Or let's try to adjust some things here in the situation to try to offset the pressure.
Right.
Right? I want the remote collar to be the same way. I want the dog to be able to work through it without it just being like, if you get hit by lightning, you're not going to know what the hell is going on. You didn't think you were unlucky. You just have a bad day and you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. You got hit by lightning. I don't want the dog to feel like that. I don't want the dog to feel like I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and I happened to be at the wrong place, wrong time 17 times today. Like, I don't want the dog to feel that way. I want the dog to understand that I was speeding and I deserved a ticket, pretty much. Like, that's what happened. I risked it for the biscuit, and that is a result of that. Does that make sense? Like, it's consequence I'm okay with, but I don't want it to be where the dog's not putting two and two together that they did something to cause something else to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I see a blank stare.
Because I think for at least my very specific case, I need more details as to like how to achieve that.
Sure.
But that can be a later conversation. Because
Current conversation.
it's pretty specific to IRA.
To be quite honest, I'm struggling with what is, people say all the time, don't use an e-collar in like a punitive way.
What does it mean?
You use e-collars in punitive ways. Tell us about this, 12-year-old.
Wait. Do you? Because what's the difference? Because I might be a little confused on what.
I was just playing. I was just throwing Diego on the bus. Under the bus.
Get under that.
But
Dang.
but no, so like I would say the biggest difference for me is,
He said, do you?
so I've been using remote collars for probably close to 10 years now.
Dang.
When I got my first one, they were a lot bigger and
Fuck.
and it was still oh, we don't have a Dr. banner out here, but it was still a Dr. one, but the box was a lot bigger.
The receiver?
Yeah, the receiver was a lot bigger. It was a lot bigger. But I think it still works. I'm pretty sure I still have it at home.
Oh.
Why didn't you should bring it in?
I know,
Dogtra
right?
makes great products.
Yeah.
They do.
Sponsor us.
Cut that check, yo.
Doctra. No, but so I think early on when I first got introduced to it, because I feel like there's a lot of, I don't call them old school dog trainers or older dog trainers that.
I think it's safe to say that.
Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Old school.
Like they're not as like there's a new modern wave of things that are going on now
For sure.
that has completely changed the way that we train dogs and the tools that we use and how we use those tools
Yeah.
to try to get more out of the dog. So the punitive way for me was, it was all about correction. Like it was all about like, we're doing the thing, you step outside of that thing, I'm going to get you, and it's probably not going to feel good.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that was like, I second guessed it a lot when I first started getting introduced to the remote collar. Because before the remote collar, I used treats. I maybe use a little bit of prong collar here and there,
Right.
slip leash stuff. I never really dove onto that side of the fence where we were doing remote collar stuff. Like I
Yeah.
just was like, it was a no-go for me. I think mostly because I didn't understand what I was doing.
Right.
And so,
Really makes someone
Me too.
resistant when you don't know how to use
no,
it.
I get it. I
No,
get
yeah.
it. But I think what really turned me on is I seen somebody else's dog in the off leash. Like I had good off leash obedience with my dog at that point, and I was a lot younger. But it wasn't. It was reliable, but it wasn't crisp and perfect. Like I could walk down the street, up and down Pack Highway with my dog off leash, and feel pretty comfortable with my dog. But he wasn't walking perfect heel with me, like his legs are glued to my legs, kind of thing. Like it wasn't that perfect, and that was just like a lot of repetition for me to get there. And so, using the remote collar, I just wanted to be able to take my dog to another level. I will say that the remote collar in itself is going to help you because your dog has a big personality, very big personality, and may not be able to handle your dog as well as I might be able to handle your dog. Like as far as just handling the leash stuff.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like there's a lot of people that come in here and just their handling skills just aren't there. And if you're dealing with a lot, on top of that, you're dealing with the anxiety of knowing that your dog has a big personality, right?
Yeah.
And so the remote collar kind of helps us skip through some of that and allows you to be able to give your dog enough feedback in the moment. And all you got to do, only part you have to figure out that's going to really help you go a lot further with your dog is the timing in which you're using that.
Yeah.
The timing of it is going to be crucial.
But that's handling skills and timing are like the two
Hand in
most
hand.
common problems I see that people struggle with. And to be quite honest,
Absolutely.
they're even for a trainer, it's still very hard.
Yeah.
They're difficult things to learn.
Especially when you're trying to do more than one thing at one time.
Yeah.
You're trying to treat in a timely fashion. You're trying to give feedback in a timely fashion.
You probably got a clicker around your neck. You probably got a remote around your neck. You're working with all these tools. Like, yeah, it can be a lot.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an easy task. And so you should feel good about where you've gotten. You've got a long ways
For
to go.
sure.
But you should feel really good about where you've
where
gotten
you
to.
are right now. Yeah. Yeah, you should have a proud mom moment for sure. Because what she does really well during class.
Yeah.
She's getting better. There's actual progress, and it's visible as hell. So,
Yes, actually.
but
I think her reactivity is gone.
punitive. Please, he kind of like circled around it in a weird way. I was like, "Hey, where's he going?" He's gonna...
I know, because I was talking about. Okay.
You started talking about something, and you like took a right and didn't turn on your blinker at all. Which, for everyone watching, Marcus never uses this fucking
Nope,
blinker.
never.
So if you're a police officer and you're watching this,
Let me tell you,
this
that's not
motherfucker
true.
never.
That's not true.
I drove behind you 100 times at this point. You never. I've never seen that blinker go. It's probably the
First of all-
same OEM blinker because he's never burned it out because he doesn't use it. It's probably the same one from the factory.
For all of you
promise
guys out in TV land that don't know that we're in Seattle, Washington,
Right.
the drivers here are horrible.
And he's just trying to blend in.
No, you don't even drive.
Like, yeah.
About 3 years.
No, listen here. This is what it is. The reason why I don't use my blinker. What are you for? I can't explain myself.
Let him express his
Let me tell you
horrible
why.
habits.
Let me tell you why I don't use my blinker. It's actually like there's
You see, you don't.
a
Trying to
method to the
protect
madness.
the people.
No, there's a method to the madness, right?
Yeah.
Seattle drivers are like the worst drivers. And have you ever tried to merge before? If you
yeah.
turn on your blinker, they speed up so you can't fucking merge. So I don't even turn my blinker on no more. I just get over. And that makes sense, does it not?
No, it doesn't.
No,
It does.
it sounds like you're setting yourself up to get fucking rear-ended.
No, not at all. I don't cut people off.
Yes, yeah.
I don't cut people off.
It doesn't matter. If you're going to turn into somewhere and
But I
someone's
don't
coming
cut
up,
people off.
that's not the point.
That is the point. There's no reason you should run into
Okay,
me.
if you're
It
not cutting
is.
people off, then there's no harm in using
Look
your
at this
blinker.
this is.
I
the-
use my blinker when like traffic is like bumper to bumper,
For
and I
sure.
can't get in there without using my blinker.
to let the person.
So then
next
I'll let the
lane-
person
Yeah.
know, like, okay, now I need to let you know.
Yeah.
But if we're just driving and I turn my blinker on and you speed up, I'm gonna be pissed off.
That's for like merging. But what if you're just coming down Pack Highway, which is pretty fast?
Sure.
We're on Pack Highway, and you go to pull into the facility, and you got another car coming up behind you, and they don't know you're about to slow down and take a
I
turn.
don't do that. Not when they're super close to me.
You do.
When they're right behind me, no. If
Mark-
they're like a few cars back, you have plenty of time to know that, hey, he's turning. He's halfway in the
The
driveway.
fact that you're this calculated about using your blinker, why don't you just use the damn thing all the time?
Do you use your blinker when somebody's not behind you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's habit,
And it's literally if you're turning,
So you
it's
do
the
something
law.
for no reason.
out of habit.
Okay. Let me tell you this. When it
Isn't
comes
this
to
what
dog
we
training,
want? Isn't this what we want the dogs doing?
What is going on?
when it comes to dog training, I don't do anything for no reason.
How
okay?
are you connecting blinkers
Everything-
and dog training? Is like fascinating to me right now.
Especially not using.
Everything
not
is
using
calculated. Everything. I don't just do. I'm not just going through the motions in anything that I do, dog training or driving. I do everything for a very specific reason. I know, jaw dropping.
I can't believe I'm letting this man teach me how to handle my dog. He don't even use his blinker.
Profound. No blinker.
This is insane.
Just pulling into places. Not even letting the person behind him like, hey, I'm about to turn. He's just like, I'm just gonna do it. You just gotta be ready. Just gotta be ready. Just gotta be ready.
Wow.
Well,
Well, we learn new things
we
every
did.
day.
We learned now punitive remote collar usage.
But let's talk about the punitive nature of not using your blinker. You can get pulled over for that,
I've never gotten pulled over for that.
Really?
which
Ever.
is crazy.
That's
Ever.
insane.
Crazy.
Ever.
Wow.
I have never got pulled over for not using my blinker.
Maybe you knock on wood.
I've been pulled over
Yeah.
for a lot of different things, never
He's
for not using my
gonna knock
blinker.
on wood.
He doesn't believe in karma.
That is insane.
No, he does.
Yes.
We had a long talk about karma. Punitive nature of an e-collar.
I was just thinking all the time I got pulled over. But punitive nature of the e-collar, right? So a lot of it, the early on usage was we were using the remote collars as almost like a bigger bat kind of thing. Like the dog's not responding to the pressure on the prong collar or the slip leash. Like the dog's a stronger dog or more rebellious dog or a little bit more stubborn. And so you're using that remote collar almost to get the dog to, I don't want to say submit, but that's probably really what it is. That's the only thing I can
It
think
doesn't.
of.
When people say it, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because if I tell my dog to go into a down, and you're gonna stay there until I break that command, until I tell
Sure.
you to break or what have you, and they go to jump up, they're gonna feel the remote. They're gonna feel that
Right.
e-collar. That's fair, right? But that's kind of a punitive way of using it.
But it's only punitive if it's not measured feedback.
I need to call my staff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
They said that it's turning into
Leave
an
these on.
emergency.
Leave these on.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Let them run.
Um,
Tea time.
do you mind if I leave her here?
Yeah, leave her with
Thanks.
me.
So, Irie, what do you
Ah!
think?
Let's ask Irie.
Yeah.
Irie, what do you?
How do you
what
feel with the remote collar?
She's like, take this thing the fuck off.
She's
me."
like,
Whoa.
bye.
Hey, baby. These little pig ears.
I got pulled over one time, and I told the officer that I was speeding because I needed to take a shit,
Uh huh.
and he
What
still gave me a ticket. was
Yeah, I
like,
would
"That's so
still give
fucked
you a
up."
ticket. How many times have you been pulled over?
I used to get pulled over all the time when I was younger, like I'd say 25 and under, like all the
Black
time.
man in Washington.
Black man in Washington, driving the wrong kind of cars.
What kind of car did you get pulled over?
I had everything, like caprices, cutlasses.
Oh God!
Like,
If you have
know
a
what I mean?
Crown
Like,
Vic,
yeah,
and you have a tan, a year-round tan, you're for surely getting pulled.
yeah.
the
I was
fuck
getting
over.
pulled over left and right. I haven't been pulled over in so long,
It's been a minute for me too.
and I don't know if I'm a better driver or not than when I was younger.
How many speeding? What were the every time you have been pulled over? What were the tickets for?
I believe it's speeding. I mean, you got like one or two HOV ones.
Oh yeah,
Especially
I could
coming off
see
that
you
exit
doing
on
that.
320 if we
Yeah, I
take the
could see
HOV
you doing
exit.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly it was just speeding, stupid stuff.
I have one speeding ticket, and it's not even on my record anymore.
One.
Because once you hit like, I think I got it after so many years, they kind of expand. Yeah, they fall off. And I have been a professional driver for like 13 years up until
Professional
you know,
driver.
yeah, I'm a professional driver for about 13 years. So it was super important to me that I didn't get tickets because if you have a commercial license, you're deemed a professional driver. Even I still have a commercial license. If I get pulled over by a cop, the chances of them giving me any sort of leeway is slim to shit because they know I know better because I'm a professional driver. I have a professional driver's license. I have a commercial driver's license. And so, yeah, I have pretty good habits when it comes to driving, spacing, and
You
like.
know what kicks my ass on tickets?
What?
Red light tickets.
You know what kicked my ass?
They kicked my ass.
Dude, those got me for a minute. When they started doing the cameras and shit, I've gotten like 2 of those probably. But obviously, they've been around for a while. But the ticket that used to kill me the most, no insurance. Never had insurance, dude.
Never had insurance. Cause I waited out on insurance. I was like, you know what? If I just don't get insurance and maybe I get 1 ticket for no insurance, it still balances out, and I'm still winning at the end of the day.
Yeah. But the fucking dude, they're expensive.
They are.
It would be like a ticket for like, oh, you didn't have your seatbelt on, and then, oh, you didn't have insurance at the same time. Well, now the ticket's like what? No seatbelt's like $100-something, and then no insurance is like $700.
Dang.
Yeah. They're not playing like driving around with no insurance. Irie's a big old sweetie, man. Look at this little couch hippo. Look at those ears.
Melissa's about to get a pit bull.
For real?
Yeah.
What kind? From Florida?
No, out here. Someone's rehoming some little puppy.
A puppy?
I don't know. She hasn't been back up, so we'll see. Puppy was adorable.
Which one? Red nose, blue?
He's blue.
I feel like blues are more common. Well, yo, what's up? We ain't seen Leo in a minute.
Oh yeah, she was in Mexico. No,
Yeah,
I was talking
Kicking
to
it.
her.
I be seeing her on. She
Cabo,
be
she went
kicking
to
it.
the Jones fight.
I seen that.
She be all over the place.
She be kicking it. I be like, wow, you really out here living.
Living her life. Yeah, it's little Trinidad.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. You got the emergency taken care of? What kind of emergency was it?
A fight broke out in our program, so.
What?
What?
Kids?
Yeah.
Kids were fighting?
Kids?
Ma'am!
Were they kids fighting?
Yeah. Off.
Wait,
Diego
what
be
did she?
fighting all the time.
What did she do
know.
for
Yeah,
work?
Diego.
Me?
Yeah.
The YMCA.
Yeah, I work for the one.
Oh, there was kids fighting?
Yeah.
Diego always fights.
Diego
No,
gets
I don't.
excited.
I haven't fought in the last 5 months.
Oh.
Good.
5 months.
Don't you give any of your teachers grief.
Yeah, bro, it's
Ooh,
not
it
worth
is
fighting,
hard.
I don't.
Okay, good.
fighting.
I'm proud of you. Proud of Diego.
Yeah. Even
All
though
right.
you look
All
like
right.
you might
Thank
have some
you
hands,
for
though.
yes.
Fine.
Hi, I'm back. I didn't abandon you.
Yeah, she was freaking out, losing her shit. Almost bit Marcus.
Yeah.
Good.
Why you laugh so hard? First of all, both of you guys have been bitten the last week.
I'm so
Both of
tired
you.
of being bit, dude.
Come here.
I'm over it.
You're
I was
tired of
I've
getting
been thinking
bit?
about it like
All right.
a lot
Hey,
within the past.
You
like,
said
couple
you
days
got
now.
shell shot.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like
Good.
even last night when we were
on.
working Macho and Papa, I was like, why do I feel this way? I feel like
Right.
really
Nervous?
awkward.
Like
Yeah.
anxious?
Like,
That happens.
but to be quite honest, I never felt that. I've been bit by a lot of dogs up until like these couple dogs
Are
that
you
bit me
this
here,
anxious,
but
ma'am?
Because Zebo hurt your feelings. That's why.
hurt
Yeah.
my ego.
He hurt your feelings.
Here, my fucking ego. I was like, man,
Come on.
You're
Like,
going
I
to
did-
cry.
man, I
Lay
was
down.
just like, what the? Man, it happened
Lay down.
so fast, but really, it's just like, yeah, isn't that
Oh my
even
God,
his
you're so
fault?
cute.
Like,
Yeah.
I did everything wrong on approaching him, and when it came to Sada, like, I was.
Oh yeah, what happened with Sada?
Well,
Wasn't that a while ago,
well,
though?
hang on. So she was sitting here, Marcus was sitting there, and he was just like throwing pieces of chicken to Sada, and Sada was like nipping at him like really hard, and I was like, and Marcus, I was like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just feed him out of your hand? And he was like, because he'll bite me, and I was like, oh no, he'll be fine. And I went
Oh
to go and
my
try to
God.
do it, and he fucking bit my pinky, and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. and then when it came to Zebo, like.
You're so.
Okay, so full scope on like the whole Zebo accident. Like, let's like give the people the full scope. Like, we had been painting all day. I didn't work a single dog, not even my own dog, all day, hours on end. We're both just painting in the facility. We clean all up. Boom, we have a class come in. I remember sitting off to the sideline. Marcus was running the class. I was thinking about something. I was probably thinking about the class, like, okay, if Marcus hands this off to me, what am I going to do next? Kind of thing. It's usually what I'm thinking. And you said, hey, yo, Zebo's prong collar looks loose. Can you go adjust that? And I said, yeah. I walked literally, like, right up to him. I didn't warm up to him. I didn't bring out a treat. I didn't do shit. I walked right up to him and put my hands on him. I should have knew immediately, because as soon as I grabbed his prong collar and I tried to scoot it up, his whole body language stopped, and I never picked up on it. I looked right past it. And this is actually a good, he looked at me like how dogs, do the fixation. You asked a question that one day. It was like, what's a good stare and what's a bad stare? He looked at me with a bad stare. He stopped moving. His breathing slowed down. His little nub tail stopped wagging. He's like keying in on me. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm pulling up on his prong collar to pull it up higher on his neck, and he growled. And I was like, you wouldn't dare. Because I've worked with this dog in the past. As soon as I let my hands go and I went to take my hands away, boom, punctured the middle of my right hand. And it doesn't look that bad, and it isn't that bad. I got pretty lucky considering what he's probably capable of. But I did absolutely every single fucking thing wrong, and I blame it on myself. I blame it on the fact that my mindset wasn't in the right place to approach a dog. I'm being stupid, not using my noodle and just thinking I could walk up to Zebo and do that when he's a pretty dangerous dog, like, for the most part. Like, he can, for what he did to me, like, he would probably do that to anyone else, so.
Who the fuck Zebo?
I'm an idiot. Yeah, Zebo, honestly, when you were working with him, like, yeah, he looks good, but the relationship between me, and to be quite honest, the relationship between me and Zebo started off hella rough.
Oh, yeah, I
Then
remember.
it took me a long time to get in that kennel and put that leash on him. I'm not going to lie. And then once I got it on him and we started working, I was like, okay. I still was a little on the fence about him, but things were working out. Until that day, anytime he's in a kennel here and I walk by, he could be sleeping, doing whatever, he stops and just looks at me like, I want it with you. And it feels like that, you know what I mean? So relationship is just, I trashed it because in the moment, I made all of the worst mistakes you could make.
Dang.
Could you build the relationship? Could I build the relationship back up with him?
Yeah.
For sure. But Marcus can take it away now. Because Zebo will try to kill me now.
That's
Questions,
Here we go.
comments, concerns. Even though I don't think we really
Questions.
finished the punitive conversation.
We didn't, but I think
It's a
people
hard
get it.
question.
It is a hard
It's a hard
question
question.
to answer, and I feel like
I think it's to measure feedback. Like, I feel like you can be punitive on a prong collar, or you can be more communicative on a prong collar. And so I feel like those little micro corrections, or like the little feedback that you can give on a prong collar,
yeah.
is more communicative versus actually being punitive. Punitive is like they're yanking that and they're popping that prong collar so hard, and it shocks the dog system. And so anything that gets that kind of response out of your dog, I feel like that's always going to be punitive.
So, yeah, I guess if you're using the e-collar and you were cranking it up past 50 and you were just banging on that, nicking your dog
the
every
number
time.
is going to be based on whatever your dog's comfortable with.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's say your dog's comfortable at 20 and you're hitting him at 50, that would be punitive, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, this makes more sense. That's kind of how I felt about it, but when I guess I've never dived into actually talking about it, but that makes a lot more sense to me. Well, you got a question?
No. Yes.
Look
yes,
into your
I
black
do.
mirror.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I was like anything a question off of it. You said no, I don't. But then do I have questions in general? Yes, I do. So look at
Just
this
one at
poll.
a time. Just pick one, good one.
yeah.
Well, that's
one.
why I read all of them because I was like, oh, which one's your favorite? But
I'm definitely not retaining like 30
okay,
questions.
Got it.
I'm
I
gonna
know,
think
right?
about
Should we
one,
like a machine
and then
gun?
we can go from there.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way.
Questions with Trinity.
All right. Well, let's see. You can veto a question and be like, nah, that's not a good one. Well,
Damn,
go to
I ain't
the
never
next one.
vetoed nothing in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever been given veto power?
Just now, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Flex it.
I'm 35. I can run for president.
You should.
Wait, is that the age?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Why do we
Marcus
got
can be the president now.
sleepy ass Joe Biden then? What the fuck?
I can run for president.
Yeah,
I don't
you
want
should
him as
not
my
run
president.
for
You
should.
don't
Me?
use your blinker.
Yeah.
That's exactly what America needs.
You kind of do look like Obama. You could pull Obama too kind of thing.
That's crazy.
You would age so fast. You would go from 35 to fucking 70 in 2 years.
You really look like Obama.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Questions.
Tall version.
Okay, let's see. How. Ooh. All right. Does treating change when you use an E EC?
Yeah.
Tell me why, Diego.
Because,
He like answered that like we were on Jeopardy or something. Yes.
Final answer.
because the dogs get uncomfortable and yeah.
I hate how you explain things sometimes. I wish you would go.
Well, I don't have
Yeah,
More
make your
words.
feedback a
Also
little bit better.
12, like
Yeah.
no vernacular, but like try harder, please.
All right, let's try this again. So yes, the dogs get uncomfy.
yeah.
that-
Yeah. So they get
Go in my
uncomfortable
car,
and
my little middle console.
that kind of also
Look in
makes
there.
them not want to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
What if you don't use treats,
No.
or if you use treats?
Yeah.
When
No.
you
With the
use
e-collar?
When you use the EC.
Yeah, and they get uncomfortable and they just like get tensed up and they don't want to
Work.
like yeah.
Why is that happening? Why is it? Why is your dog getting uncomfortable and
Oh,
tensing
hi,
up
baby.
and not wanting to work anymore?
Probably because you hit him too hard on the e-collar. You probably use it too punitively. And honestly, like, I still feel like my dog is like still getting used to the e-collar.
It's a tough
Sometimes.
thing because there's no manual for. I mean, there is a manual that comes with an e-collar.
But it's so different from dog to dog.
It is. It's different dog to dog. It's different situation to situation. It's going to change as your dog starts to progress mentally and maturing, right?
For sure.
When I started my Corso on remote collar stuff, we were starting on like 5 or 6, like
Really?
super
Dang.
low, because he was so sensitive. And honestly, I couldn't even use vibration with him because even the vibration was too much for him. He would start to shut down on the vibration. And so when you're using the EC,
AC.
you're not looking for a physiological response from your dog. You're not looking for neck twitching. You're not looking for the dog to be screaming. You're not looking for the dog to be jumping and jolting. That's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is whatever behavior that you asked of, or maybe you're looking for attention out of your dog. I always look at my dog's eyes, and we talked about this a little bit last night.
We did.
If you look in your dog's eyes, it'll tell you a lot about what's going on in the moment. But if your dog is twitching or your dog is moving physically because of the remote collar, it's kind of too high. Even if they don't shut down, it's still too high. That means you can go down a few more notches and still get a response out of your dog because your dog feels it, but they shouldn't be giving you a physical response. Does that make sense?
So even if they're blowing you
even-
off.
even-
If they blow you off, yeah, yes, you're turning up.
But even when I vibrate my dog, he still gives me a physical response. He'll shake his neck and do things like that.
And he still blows you off?
Oh no.
Okay.
No,
I don't
he's
know.
not
That's what I'm
blowing
saying.
me
And
off.
so when I'm working through a beating, especially if it's just me in the facility by myself and I'm working through things with my dog, not very often is my dog going to shut down. But if I notice that in that moment, maybe his threshold or his arousal level is not that high, and I hit him on it and I see him twitch a little bit, I'll turn it down right away because I didn't need it for it to be that high.
Right.
So I turn it down, and what I'm looking for is, even though I didn't see him twitching or him screaming his head off, I noticed that he felt it because I can see the intention in the way that he's doing the obedience. Does that make sense?
Kinda. Yeah.
And so that's a lot of like low stim work, which
Yeah.
is like the more modern way of dog training with the remote collar now, is that low stim work. Because with that low stim work, you're working on from more of a communicative standpoint where it's just feedback. Like it's not necessarily good or bad sometimes.
Sounds like it's just more calculated pressure.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a great way to describe it. Calculated pressure.
Because if you don't want to go too much, and you don't want to, even I guess you're right. Because when I teach people, like especially when we're doing like sits and downs through the leash, I see people just like crank it on like immediately, and I gotta
Yeah.
tell them like, okay, think about it from 0 to 100, right? Always start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually at like 5, you'll see a response from the dog. They'll start like thinking about it or moving around or doing something. If you were to probably not correct that person and just let them go to 20 on their dog every single time they were going to put them in a sit or a down, Yeah, I could see how
And
that.
that was the old school way of using remote
Yeah,
collars, where
I
you
can-
just have it on
yeah.
a set number, and if he doesn't do the thing he's supposed to do, you're hitting that regardless of where their dog's arousal level is.
Right.
And so now we try to be more conscious of kind of what the dog is feeling, what's going on in the moment,
Yeah.
and give them that calculated feedback.
Right.
I had Melissa bring this book in. It's my new book that I wanted to kind of go through. It's called Dog Language, an encyclopedia of canine behavior. And so what it does is it talks about different physical things that your dogs do that actually mean something. And they kind of just try to describe or tell you what it actually means that the dog is going through in that moment based on what they're showing you. So apparently there's a lot of different things that dogs do that actually mean something. Like it's not just like for nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need
So,
to
like,
know a
picture
little
book?
more body language. That way I
What was
can
that?
not get bit.
So like a picture book?
There's pictures and stuff in it.
She says a picture book.
I need a picture book. That's what I
Really?
need.
You can see it. There's pictures,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I would.
I don't
to
like
know.
picture
They're not
books.
colored or anything.
Yeah, they don't move
Right.
like Harry Potter or anything.
Yeah. It's not like
I
a
just-
pop. Someone should make
well-
a pop-up dog training book where you open it up,
That's for your child's
pops
book.
out,
Oh, that'd be fun.
right?
But it's like showing the different behaviors, like ears back, or
Yeah.
what does like when you say you look
Oh, yeah.
into your dog's eyes and it tells you a lot. What exactly are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Oh man, I don't know how I put it into words, but
No, I mean,
you can see insecurity in the dog's eyes. Very similar to like when you can see insecurity in people's eyes,
yeah.
right? Like you ever
Like-
see someone that looks like they're having a hard day, or like looks like they're holding on to some things and they're trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
You know, that's like me every other Monday.
So apparently, your face needs to be
I'm just saying.
in the dictionary.
No, but just in general though, like if you ever like looking at people's eyes when you talk to them, like you can tell so much about them, right? And so dogs are the same way. I see
No,
them.
you're not wrong. I mean, if you were to block off the lower portion of my face and just you were able to just look at the eyes of a person, and you had like a bunch of slides of just eyes, I feel like you can get really close, if not spot on, to like what the emotion of each picture being shown is going to tell you.
You ever seen a crazy person and look them in their eyes?
Yeah, and you're like, that motherfucker's crazy. Or you ever
It's
look
like
someone in
that.
the eyes and you're like, that dude's drunk. Or you ever look someone in the eyes and you're like, she's been crying within the past hour or so. Like
Yeah.
soul windows, these will tell you everything. I mean, and especially when you're doing like bite work when a dog bites me, I'm looking right in their window, like, yeah, you want to be here. You're really enjoying this right now. Like, and sometimes like you don't see that. You see them just doing the thing, and they're just like, they don't want to be there. You can see it in their eyes. It's real. It's hard to explain. You're right.
It is. It's
a hard
it's
thing
hard
to
to
explain.
really explain it. And
But now that you have this information, you'll start like looking at people's eyes, and you'll probably start like gauging
sleep.
things. Even with, yeah, eyes closed means you're napping. Nap time. But yeah, you're not wrong. I think I don't use that enough, when like especially like body language of a dog. Like the only thing I know now is when that breathing slows down, that tail stops wagging, they start fixated staring at you.
You gonna get bit.
Yeah, you about to get bit. You looking like a Hershey bar right now to that dog, and it's not gonna be good for you within the next couple minutes. And that goes with like other dogs as well, or people just noticing if their dog gets fixated on something else, like, hey, snap them out of it, or something. Get them to look at you or do something else because it's about to go down. Otherwise, if you don't do anything at all, but gotta read those soul windows.
so to answer your question, yes, you probably are going to treat differently when you're using a remote collar, especially early on, because you want to create as many positive associations with the remote collar. Any tool, remote collar, pawn collar, even slip leash for that matter, you want it to be a positive experience, and you want the dog to feel like they can get to the win. If it's just the whole time you're just kicking their butt on the tool that you're using, then the dog's going to feel defeated. They're going to shut down. But if the dog starts to look at it like a puzzle and they can figure it out, and once they do figure it out, what's on the other side is worth it. Like, nothing worse than going on a treasure hunt and there's not fucking anything in there. Like, that's not
That's a
not fun,
crappy treasure hunt.
right?
Who set that up? That's
I'm just saying.
horrible.
Who
Who
sent
wrote
that
this
in?
fucking map? I'd be
My mom used
pissed.
to do that.
Horrible. Yeah.
Hey,
Fake treasure maps.
Yeah.
I think she was just trying to get you out of the house.
Go find this treasure.
Yeah, good luck.
That's a villain origin story right there, if I've ever heard one. Dang.
All right, what's that Black Mirror telling you? You got any more?
Let's see. All right, what does the balance of using a slip collar along with an EC look like?
Ooh. Diego.
Lots of pairing.
Me? Wait, what did you say?
I said, what does the balance of using a slip collar along with an EC look like?
The balance.
Yeah.
Got that?
Like, do I just, like, stop using the slip collar when I'm using the EC, or?
No.
I know. So, are you talking when you're beginning using the EC or like once you?
Yeah, all of this is from a newbie standpoint.
Then no. You should like pair it together when you're adding pressure. So like
Give us an example.
let's say the dog steps off the box and you don't want him to. So you tighten up on the leash and you use the e-collar at the same time. And then as soon as they get on the box, you release the pressure from the e-collar and the leash.
Boom.
That's it.
That's really good, dude.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
I see so hard.
Golf clap.
So this goes back to what I was saying with the remote collars. I wanted to remain communicative. Everything that we do on the remote collar, all I wanted to do is I wanted to be an extension of your leash at some point. So I wanted your dog to look at it the same way your dog looks at it when you give the dog slip pressure. Like when you give pressure on the lead, we've done enough repetitions where the dog understands that this means something, and I can change behavior to adjust what that pressure feels like to me. Does that make sense?
I feel like that gives the dog a sense of a sense of control too.
Yeah.
Like, I can turn this off if I just do this.
There's an empowering when it comes to that.
Especially when they understand it really well.
Yeah. Your remote collar is just a leash on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's what I told my mom.
That's really
all the
good.
time.
Yeah, it's like a whiffy leaf or leash
A Wi-Fi
leaf.
leash. It's an extension of your leash. It's just a leash on Wi-Fi. Right now, we're doing everything dialed up with the leash, and we have the remote collar in there, and then now, ta-da.
Yeah. Ta-da. It's just, you're right. I like that.
I don't feel like that was original. Is that original?
Is it original?
Yes.
Right off the
You
top of the
heard
dome.
it before, but you heard me say it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Whiffy leash.
I remember you
I've been using that for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember when I started using it, but I've been using that for a long time.
when you first gave me and my mom the e-collar. You said it's a leash
on Wi-Fi.
without
Yeah, that's the best way that I can think of to describe it.
That's a great way to
I
describe
feel
it.
like it's probably
Wireless
a little
leash.
bit more accurate if you say
Or maybe you
it's a
should
leash
like
on
a
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. I was just about to say.
Dang,
what?
Jeremy and
Connecting
I?
devices. Yes, I was just gonna say.
What?
It's more like Bluetooth.
Why?
'Cause-
Why is it Bluetooth versus Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
And what is the difference between Bluetooth and Wi-Fi?
What is the difference?
Because Wi-Fi is gaining access to like a server.
I'm the fucking server.
Whereas Bluetooth is the connection of tools.
Of two things being that we pair them together,
Yeah.
the leash and the. So you would actually, you're right. It would be Bluetooth.
I like
Hey,
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Wi-Fi's
you.
cool, but that's like
Thank you.
if you're technically
As young people, we're gonna say Wi-Fi. you old hags over there. You guys can use Bluetooth.
I can't.
Bluetooth, you want some DVDs with that? Get out of here.
Yeah,
That's
look, this is called.
Blu-ray. That's Blu-ray.
Bro, I seen these kids. Like this one dude handed his two sons a cassette tape. This guy fucking tried to look through it. The other kid, he put it to his ear. I was like, yeah, this is hilarious, bro. This is fantastic. See, I am of the era of like, bro, I used to listen to like E40 and Too Short on cassette.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, yeah, I'm from
Ghetto
that.
Boys, like.
Oh, stop. Don't even make
Man.
My dad used to like always be into like having subwoofers in his car, and he'd be like, he'd get a new car, he'd buy a brand new tape deck and a subwoofer. He would literally build the box himself. Come back next week and the Subaru would be thumping, boom, be like two midgets back there wrestling or something.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the
I
days.
remember recording all the music on the radio
With
and dubbing it on a cassette tape.
Boy, I had so many mixtapes where I had the fire mixtape because if you're from Washington and you know anything, like late at night, there were some like really dope radio stations that would come on and would play like local stuff, all the stuff that wasn't like mainstream hits. They'd play like B-side of a lot of like albums and stuff. I still fucking love it, dude. I would sit in front of the radio And as soon as I heard a song I liked, boom, I would hit the record button.
Yeah.
But it slowly transitioned from recording music onto cassette tapes. And then when I got into like middle school, like probably like, I don't know, 8th or 7th grade, music videos were like a big thing. And like, remember the box? And then MTV2 bought the box, and then it was just like music videos all day long on MTV2.
Yeah.
And so I would go to the dollar store, and I would buy blank VHS tapes, and my mom had the VCR hooked up to the TV, and I went from recording music off the radio on a cassette tape to recording music videos on VHS tape, and making music video mixtapes on a VHS tape, just so I could watch the ones that I wanted to see every single day instead of waiting and
I
like
didn't do that.
sitting through the pop sec. Dude, I loved music. Well,
I used to record. I got so many Kobe highlights on the VHS tape.
What?
Kobe highlights on the VHS tape. I used to record
Oh.
games on VHS tapes all the
That
time.
sounds like you're
Yeah.
a basketball guy. It sounds like
Yeah.
something you'd do. We used to also plug into a VCR onto our TV, and then we'd have like a console. This was like Nintendo 64 and shit. And we'd play like video games, and we would record the gameplay from the TV onto a blank VHS tape, and we'd go back and watch like our games.
How has that influenced your dog training and pairing your remote collar to your leash?
Absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm just getting nostalgic here, thinking about all the things that I recorded, and now I'm still doing it. It's such a shocker. Recording history, one record button at a time.
You were born in the right era.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Sometimes it doesn't feel it. Sometimes
Were
I
you
feel
not
like
born
I
then?
should've.
Huh?
Were you not born then?
No, I was just thinking about like how
That
some
was
people.
sneaky. That's good though. I like the effort. I like it.
What year were you
Yeah.
born?
Ooh, that was a good one too. I don't think she's that dumb though. She's
I
smart.
can,
I think
yeah.
she's born in the
I
90s.
trust
Born in
that-
the 90s.
You were born in the
Yeah,
90s?
you're totally a 90s
Yeah.
baby. If we were 80, well, we were like late 80s.
I was born in the 80s. I was
88.
born in the crack era.
At the end of it, fool.
First of all, I'm old. Okay.
Basically the 70s.
I know I'm basically a 90s baby because I was born in 88, so I'm practically a 90s baby.
All right.
Early 90s.
What other questions you got?
All right. What are the potential risks associated using the EC?
Potential risk
Yeah.
with
Any
using a remote
risk?
collar.
I think we've touched on it a little bit.
Not,
What
wait,
are the
no,
risks,
no,
Diego?
a risk?
Yes.
Traumatizing your dog
Yeah,
by using it wrong?
yeah. You could definitely use it wrong and like
Yeah.
traumatize.
What does
the
using
shit
it wrong look like?
Using it in a punitive way.
Yeah.
is
Like
one.
What else?
setting it up at too high or something,
Sure.
and then just like stimming your dog like crazy.
Does anybody in here get angry at their dog? and
Yeah.
hit them on their-
Sorry.
No, I do not get angry on my dog and then stem the shit out of him. I do not want. My dog's already like really skittish, and the last thing I need to do is make him
Wait, is that
nervous
what you said?
about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You get mad at your dog and stem them?
No, not out of nowhere, like they're sleeping. Like,
He's just like
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
suppress your
World's greatest
psychopathy. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm very, very cautious in the way I use my e-collar, unless he's really, really doing something like just out of line. Like today, I went out to my truck, or no, I went to go throw away the trash, and I didn't put his e-collar on him actually, and there's been a lot of cats in the neighborhood just like roaming around. Somebody left cats out and then moved away or something. But there's this black one that's been hanging out a lot, and I've seen it a couple times, and he's seen it a couple times, so he's familiar with it. And he looked at it, and I was like throwing something away, and I turned around, and his tail was wagging, and he went completely still. And I was like, whoa, what do you see that I don't? And I looked over, and I seen a cat, and then as I looked back at him, he started taking off. I remember I literally went straight to my pockets and realized he doesn't have that on, and I don't have that. And I yelled no, and he stopped and turned around. Had I had the e-collar on him, he would have got constantly stemmed right there, just to let him know, like, you are not supposed to do that. That is an absolute fucking no-go. Do not do that.
Damn.
That would be the only time he's gonna feel that collar in a really, really harsh way. He's going after another cat or another animal, or he's like fucking about to dart into traffic or something. Stop what you're doing, like right now. the only time I ever like really crank it up on him. And I've never had to do that. He would have got it today, but he didn't have it on. And he listened to me verbally, which was great.
Thank God.
What would you do if that was Irie?
And she didn't have her e-collar on, and she just bolted.
Let's say she did have her e-collar on. Would your first thought be like, I'm going to use this? Because I know you've never really got on her with the remote collar. You may have used it 3 times since you had it.
I've used it a little bit more.
A little more.
That sounded convincing.
I did.
Yeah, and when your voice gets high, that means
I've used it. I sure have.
all the time.
Yeah, I think I would.
That would be your first thought to use it?
There is like a sense of assurance that I have using the e-collar while she's not leashed. Because when we're in our little fenced shared potty pit, I take the leash off and I do let her like roam. But really it is just a buzz first.
Yeah, but you have an e-collar on her. Even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
So you still have
I still have that.
Bluetooth control,
I
if you will.
Sounds so horrible.
What would I do if she bolted away into
She bolted away.
freedom?
So she jumped over the fence. She's going after another
100%
dog.
jump over the fence. She hasn't figured it out yet,
I know.
thank God. But I mean, if she was going, okay, so if she bolted and I saw that she was going after another dog, yeah, I think I would just go straight to stimming her.
Yeah?
Because
Well,
as something so that it could just slow her.
Where would you stim it at? Like, what number would it be on?
Maybe like 30.
What do you work her on?
Let's say she doesn't come back. What are you going to do then?
Because my thing is like slow her down so that I can at least catch up because I know
Your plan
she's
is to
faster.
run full speed, hit her. All right, slow down. Too fast.
You're going too fast. Slow down. You might as well be a cop at that point, like tasing someone. Like, stop moving.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly how I would feel. I'd feel like a cop.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just stop
Marcus,
running.
what would you do in that type of
Yeah,
situation?
apparently
Yeah, what
my
would you
answer
do?
isn't the
You
right
had-
answer.
If Irie was yours and Irie was just like, yo, I'm blowing this popsicle stand, hopped the fence and was just out. And you were like, where's my remote? What do you do next?
And I have my remote?
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to use it. But the reason I'm asking you that question is because I know you are, like a lot of people that are new to the remote, a lot of people that have indifferent feelings when it comes to the remote, you're very tentative about using it, right? And so you have like a comfort level, like, oh, I'll hit her on 20 or 30 because you know how she responds on that. But in a high arousal situation like that, where she hops a fence and she's hightailing it past a dog to a dog, you got to be willing to turn it up and meet her where she's at mentally. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I would.
You think so?
Yeah. I think I care. I think I've gotten to the point where I care enough about Irie.
Okay.
I would.
So that remote goes.
Wait, you're at the point where you care enough. Well,
You
before
care-
you were just like,
you
meh. If Irie runs, she runs. I don't know. But now,
Let
I
her
can't
kill some
let her
random
run away.
dog.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've, I mean, look, I guess we're joking about it because it's kind of funny, but I mean, that's like legit. Like when you first get a dog, you might be on like the fence about like, cool. Then you
Look.
kind of, your love grows for the dog over time.
I will say the communication between Irie and I has gotten good enough that I do feel like our relationship has gotten a lot better.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's obvious that your
So-
relationship with her is
I
gone.
have a
Yeah.
question. Do you think your dog loves you?
No,
Okay.
Why?
I think she's dependent on me.
Yes.
And I'm also her like 100% only friend. So
So
I
do you
think
think
she's
that
just
if we
a-
put your dog
low-key.
out in the field
Uh-huh.
and you went one way and
And-
I went another way?
no,
Would your
no,
dog
no,
go
no,
with
no,
you or
no.
go with
Me versus I don't know a steak. She go to the food.
That's different.
That
Is
is
it?
different.
It's
That
It's
is
different.
Most
Yeah.
people would choose a lottery ticket over you.
Or filet
Yeah,
mignon.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Never know.
So
Yeah, but most people would choose
But-
me
Oh
over
wait,
you.
you have to choose over.
you said most people would choose you over me?
Yeah, I think
Most
so.
people?
Most people.
Diego, would you choose her over me?
No.
See?
Actually, yeah, no.
I thought about it a second. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
take
no,
it-
I'm
take
good.
about- Hey,
Final
you know
answer?
What? It's okay. Diego's not most people. That's okay.
Diego, you made the right
you're
choice. You know
unique.
who's signing the checks, all right?
Yeah. No, I think it's like Stockholm syndrome.
I don't know what that is.
Did you take psychology or something?
Yeah, at one
Let's
point.
talk.
You bring up a lot of psychological concepts, which
No.
is
I
obviously
work with kids too.
Oh, that's
so.
true.
Stockholm syndrome is like Beauty and the Beast, where like someone captures another person, and after you've been like exposed to one another, and you're basically hanging out with one
okay.
another 100% of the time, the person who got captured starts developing feelings, or it becomes really like comfortable with their
So you captured Irie.
low key. Oh, gotta catch them all. Pokemon.
They're a Pokemon.
But low key, sometimes I'm like, it's just Stockholm syndrome. That's why she likes me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if
Interesting way to-
if
yeah.
she loves me. I don't know.
What do
if
you
I
think?
go
You
that
think
way.
your dogs love you?
Stop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
But
You
like
think a
my dogs
dog?
are
You
obsessed-
think, you
I
think a
think-
dog understands what love is?
I think my dogs are obsessed with me.
Mm.
I don't know if you want to equate obsession to love or not, but I think my dogs
Most
are
people
obsessed
don't.
with me.
Is it?
Was that?
No,
Is
no.
obsession love?
Yeah.
You got a lot to learn about love.
Yeah. Too soon.
A different podcast.
Join us next time for Birds and the Bees with Diego. No, I mean, yeah.
I think
sometimes-
my dog's obsessed with me. Like, I think that even if you do have, like, if you have a stake in your hand, and I go a different way and you go one way, I think they might show some interest towards the stake, but I still think they're coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I still think they're like, oh,
Nice.
he's too far away. I got to go back. Let me get a couple licks real quick, and I'm coming back.
I was just eating and coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have that same type of relationship
You
with
think
my
so?
dog. Mm-mm.
Really?
Would go to
But
the
I
steak.
kind of Hawk is a really like sweet boy. He's a bit of a social butterfly, and I never really. I mean, in retrospect now, my next dog will be a lot different as far as like what socializing looks like. But if my dog was sitting in the middle of a field and he had a leash on it, and somebody random person came up and grabbed the leash, they could totally walk off with Hawk. I don't think he's gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
You think he'd at least try to come to you?
No, I don't.
I guess it's my new owner now.
Yeah, I think he would just accept it and he would walk off with that other person.
New idea.
Huh?
I can kidnap Hawk nicely.
Yeah, my dog is very kidnappable. Yeah, I don't think he's
Dog-nappable.
obsessed with me. But I also don't feel like I have like a really awesome relationship with Hawk.
Yeah.
I feel like it's shaky. He just like,
Like a business partners.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably more like a business partner than like, oh my God, like I absolutely adore and love you. I'm obsessed with you. I need to be around you all the time. It may seem like that to me sometimes, but I don't, because yeah, it's just I just don't feel like, I guess I don't have any like real like reason to say why or why not, how I feel that way. It just seems like that. Like the relationship could be better. Like it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't completely trust me when I put him in situations where he's
I
just
agree.
like, whoa, what do we, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is he? I feel like other people can see it
Yeah.
too when I'm with my dog.
It's an excellent question. How do you build trust with your dog?
Oh yeah, I've been struggling with that for years without him.
Yeah.
Well, try
All
not.
12
Well,
years.
stop shocking her. That would probably help.
Why she's leaving?
I think relationship is probably like the most important thing
Yeah.
when it comes to having a dog.
Right.
Good girl.
To me, the relationship is more important than obedience. The relationship is more important than a lot of things that we try to teach our dogs. Because that relationship will carry you through a lot of insecure moments. Like
Yeah.
nobody's dog is
Yep.
perfect, right? Like they struggle with whatever it is, whatever their kryptonite is. There's dogs out there that struggle with certain things, right? But when you have an owner or a handler or somebody with the dog trusts that, oh, this person is in charge of the situation, it completely changes or shifts the way the dog views those insecurities,
Yep.
more or less.
I agree.
And so
Relationships matter.
relationships matter. Look at that.
I agree. I didn't. I need to
Yeah.
definitely work on
What's
making a stronger bond with that boy. He definitely has this sort of like, when I'm in my office, my woman can be in the living room. A lot of the times he tends to want to come into the office and lay on the couch in my office or on the floor under my desk at my feet. For the most part, and especially when she's not around, which has been the past couple of days, he's right next to me. The only time he'll ever stray from me is like last night, like we did a little bit of bite work, and he's like just super tired. He'll go straight to his kennel and just sleep all night. I'll never see him. But on days where he doesn't get worked as hard, he's usually right next to me. But I really don't. And that's why I guess I think we don't have the strongest relationship is because when I put him in situations where he's going to be challenged, whether it be fight work or maybe like a really big agility piece of some sort, like you can see, he's like, yo, you got me? Like I'm like, I got you, but he doesn't really feel like I got him. You know what I mean? And it's pretty obvious too. It's kind of embarrassing to be quite honest because he's pretty obedient. But sometimes that obedience just looks like, okay, like I guess I'll do it. Thing. Otherwise, I'll be punished, so I'll just do it. So he's like kind of like a pouty kid sometimes. He's dumb, spoiled. He acts like he gets beaten every day. He walks around with his head down like he's like one of those women on like the Lifetime Oxygen channel. They get beaten by their fucking husband or something.
Yeah.
Wow,
Trigger
we're not going to get sponsored by Lifetime.
We don't need that sponsor.
What other questions do you have?
Oh, did we fully answer the potential risks of using the EC?
Oh, I
Yeah, you
forgot.
can traumatize the shit out of your dog if you use it in a harsh
I mean, I
way.
think that's probably like the biggest thing is like, and that's the dog shutting down kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
Or you use it too hard, or you're too harsh on it, and all of a sudden the dog is afraid of it. Like I've seen that also.
You can get that up. You can get that from a slip. You can get that from a prong collar as
Can.
well.
I feel like it's
I
easier
think
with
that
an e-collar.
the remote collar is so, I don't want to call it powerful because I feel like it's a weird
It is
word.
very powerful.
But what I mean is like there's so much that you can do with it. That means there's so much that you can do to ruin the dog also.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of times people use a remote collar as an easy fix. They don't know what they're doing and they're just pushing buttons and trying to get whatever they're trying to get out of their dog or get the dog to stop doing whatever they're trying to get the dog to stop doing. And they end up ruining the dog. Now the dog is second guessing everything in life because of the remote collar. It's not building the relationship. It's deteriorating it because now the dog has no trust in anything that's going on. It's just like if you walked around on Earth for a month and you're getting electrocuted or a lightning bolt is hitting you every other day, you're not gonna walk outside the house no more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but
I'm
every
not
time
going
I go
outside.
out, I get hit by lightning. Like, you're like, fuck this. I'm staying in.
Yeah.
Order some DoorDash or something, and we're not going outside.
Hit that Snuggie and hit the couch.
Yeah. And so I think that's the way that you can kind of ruin your dog when it comes to remote collar stuff. And it's so easy because it's just a push of a button. And so,
E-collars are like easy math questions. It'd be like simple plus and subtraction, and you're probably going to get one of them wrong along the way because it's so easy.
yeah.
That happens?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
You're asking me if that's happened in class?
What? Never mind.
All right,
All
what
right,
you got?
I think this is the last one because all the other ones have kind of been answered. Well, this one was also kind of answered.
What's that?
When you're using the EC, should you be extra vigilant on having the clicker ready for positive enforcement, or is the stim ending enough in enforcement?
Sure.
know what
Why
he
are everybody looking at me? Are you going to answer it?
You
I've
better
answered
talk
2
about it.
questions.
I mean,
I don't know this one, to be honest.
I don't know. Like the clicker's been a really powerful thing for me, but I don't use it a lot, especially if I know at a certain point my dog understands what like I'm asking of him. The only time I use the clicker is when like we're working on something like he has no idea. When it's like completely brand new to him, that's when I bust out the clicker. But if it's like just sitting down or I'm asking him to do things that he already knows, I don't use the clicker. But for new things, when introducing like lately it's been like focused heel work. When he looks at me, boom, I'm gonna click it. Boom, I'm gonna click it every time. And if he keeps making eye contact with me, boom, I'm gonna click it again. I'm gonna reward him, and he's gonna get that until I break him. That's the only time I use it, honestly. When introducing new commands.
I like the clicker a lot.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not saying I don't like it. I love it. I think it's great.
Me
Super
saying
powerful.
I like the clicker doesn't mean that you
I mean,
don't
you kind of
like
felt
it.
like that. You were like, all right, like, yeah, you know, I love it. This guy's over here talking the shit about it. Hey, you know, I love it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
like, dang, like, calm down.
I digress.
All right, so again, I like the clicker more than Jeremy. So when I'm like if I'm in there by myself and it's just like I'm kind of getting in the zone, I'm like got music on, whatever it is, I'm working stuff with my dog. I'm using my clicker, I'm using my remote collar, I'm using my treats, kind of going back and forth. But as far as using the e-collar, do you have to have a clicker ready? No, you don't have to. The end of the negative feedback can be enough of a reward for the dog. But for me, I like to double down on it sometimes, where not only is this negative thing stopping, but also we're introducing something positive to the situation. That's going to be like, all right, like,
Nipopo.
yeah, exactly. Nipopo.
Nipopo, baby.
What is it? What does Nipopo stand for, Diego?
Negative, positive. Wait.
Yeah, you were on the right track.
Negative, positive,
Negative, positive
Yeah.
reinforcement, brother.
My bad.
Yeah, you got it. That's
Negative,
literally
positive.
that's my bread and butter right
Yeah,
there.
like I like that style. I don't always, like I said, I don't always do it. Sometimes I work just remote collar stuff. Sometimes I work just clicker and treat stuff. Sometimes I work just leash stuff. What?
So we know what the acronym stands for, but what is it?
Oh, negative, positive reinforcement?
Yeah.
Oh, so example, negative. We can talk about it in the framework of like sits and downs through the leash, right? So the feedback on the leash, negative. Positive, click. Positive, food.
Oh,
Make sense?
got
Wrong.
Got it. No? That's wrong?
Really close, but
Oh, shit.
so teaching the dog to sit on the leash, right? We're giving the dog pressure on the feedback, pressure on the leash, right? We're giving the dog pressure on the leash,
Uh-huh.
all right? And
Yes.
so the moment we release that pressure is negative.
No, I think I was right, bro.
No.
What? Wait,
No,
I'm confused.
you double down on your on your clicker and your treat. That's not where the positive. The positive happens when the negative.
Is taken away.
Yes.
Oh.
When
Oh,
the
so
pressure
just
is
releasing
taken
the
that's a-
feedback on
yes.
the lead is.
Positive.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
So it starts off with
Negative?
negative.
negative, positive, positive, positive.
This is gonna it
Hold
gets
on, let
really
him go through this
complicated.
because
No,
I
listen.
need you to go through this real
Listen,
quick.
it's gonna get really complicated because
No, it's not that complicated.
no,
though.
listen. So we were talking about the 4 quadrants of dog training, right?
Yes.
Positive and negative doesn't mean the same thing as culturally as when we think of positive and negative.
Yes.
Negative reinforcement is taking something away. Positive reinforcement is adding anything. Whether we're adding something like a treat or we're adding like a hit on the prong collar, it's still positive reinforcement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we're adding something into the equation.
Okay.
So, negative reinforcement is we're taking away the pressure that we've added already.
So negative is good and positive is bad?
No, it doesn't matter. Negative and positive doesn't necessarily be good or bad. It just means that we're adding something to the equation or we're taking away something
Okay.
out of the equation. And so the ni-po-po part is we're taking away the pressure that we've added in there,
Oh, okay, that makes
which counts as a positive to the dog. And then we're also doubling down and we're by adding something else into the equation, like the treat or whatever it is.
So what's the
But
negative?
clicker and treat are
What's the
clicker is just a
negative?
marker.
Yeah.
Clicker and treat is the same thing.
What's the negative?
So what are you
If it's
taking
knee
away?
popo, if it's negative, positive,
The
positive.
negative
what's
is
the
taking
negative?
away the pressure. And so the ni-po-po style can be like prong collars in the situation. You're taking away that feedback.
Negative.
That's the negative. We're taking away that feedback.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
damn, I was looking at that wrong the whole time. Shit.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
It is. It
Honestly,
is
I'm not
complicated.
gonna lie. I've read the 4 quadrants of dog training multiple fucking times, and
It's
to be
very
quite honest,
sciencey.
it can get a little bit confusing, and I'm not at a point in my training career where I guess I fully understand it yet, but I'm still at the drawing board, as it were.
Yeah.
You are too each.
Bart Balone can tell you a lot more about it.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, like, this is a part of dog training I really like. It's a never-ending learning process, and so you can go as far as you want down this rabbit hole, or you can grab the walls and stop at any moment and climb back out.
All right, I'm gonna tell you the Google definition, just 'cause I feel like we kind of walked around with that. So it
Like
says,
Google be fucking around though.
I know. It
Sometimes.
says, so NEPOPO stands for negative, positive, positive. It means that the dog first receives a negative stimuli, which is like the feedback on the remote collar or feedback on the prong collar, followed by 2 positive stimuli. This training method makes communication between the dog and its owner more effective.
I feel like I explained that. So
Yeah,
it's-
if Google say that, what
if
Jeremy
the
said-
pressure on the
But I don't think the click is the positive stimuli. The positive stimuli is that negative reinforcer goes away.
so that's
That's
the
the positive.
And then
Like,
the food
And
is
then
the
the
if I'm
drink-
giving you pressure
That
on
makes
the
more
leash,
sense.
the
That
pressure
makes more
goes
sense.
away,
Yes,
that's
yes, yes,
automatically
yes,
a
yes.
positive for you, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Okay, great,
Okay,
now
it
I'm
goes away. You
comfortable.
did the thing,
And
it
on
goes
top of
away.
that, I'm going to double down with it with a reward.
Yes,
Oh,
that makes more
okay.
sense.
Does that make
makes
sense?
sense. Yes. The 4
All right,
quadrants of
understand
dog
now.
training can be a little confusing.
It gets confusing
It
because
does
it's
get
not,
confusing.
it's more, you might probably would understand it better though because it is more of a psychological standpoint.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is rooted in stuff for psychology.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you go on your little Google rabbit hole and you look up the 4 quadrants, you'll see.
Okay.
You'll probably have a better understanding of it than
Jeremy,
us mere mortals. What?
nothing.
I don't know about that.
I have a question for you though.
What's up? A question for me? I get
Yes.
to answer something?
Yes.
Woo!
Got a question for you.
Thank you, Diego.
How do you feel about your remote collar?
Be honest.
I'm not trying. Fighting that deception demon inside. Like good.
Great answer.
I think I am still hesitant because there's still a lot of practice I need to put in.
Sure.
And like working on the timing, but I guess I feel hopeful that maybe I'll get it one day. I know I suck right now.
You know what I
Fun
would
fact, I suck
really-
right
I
now.
suck too.
I would really like you to do is practice more like in controlled environments with the remote collar. Because even in group class, I don't see you using it very often. It's around your neck, but you're not using it,
Yeah.
right? But the only way you're going to get comfortable in using it is in using it, right? And we're just working through things in a lower aroused environment. It's going to be super beneficial. Just
Lower than group class.
No. I'm saying like lower than like being outside in the potty
Oh, okay.
area. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. But working on it in that kind of space where it's a little bit more controlled,
Okay.
and we can work on certain things. And so I really want you to like a lot of people, especially clients, they come in here, we get over some big hurdles where there's dog reactivity or the dog coming when called or whatever it is. They're good with that, but they don't continue to like clear up that communication between there and their dog when it comes to the remote collar and working with their dog. So right now the communication is muddy. Like you're not really sure what you're gonna get out of your dog when you use it because you're not confident in using it. And she hasn't had maybe enough well-rounded repetitions to work through it. Does that make sense? So a lot of times when we're working on stuff specifically with your dog, I'm holding the remote, Jeremy's holding the remote, Diego's holding the remote. I want you to get more comfortable. And I know that you got a lot going on, and that's why I say it's okay to just work with one thing. It's okay to just work remote collar and your leash. Just work through that. Just work through that. Great. When you get a chance to stop, put your remote collar down and give the dog a reward. That is okay. You don't have to worry about trying to get all the treats, the remote collar and the clickers and all that kind of stuff all happening at once because that is a skill set and that takes time to develop. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination. It's a lot of different things going on at
Timing.
once.
Yeah, there's
Timing,
a lot
all that
going
kind of
on.
stuff. And so if you're just comfortable handling the leash and the remote, do that because I really want you to get to the point where your remote collar is like Wi-Fi and not Bluetooth.
It's not.
So
It doesn't work.
It does.
It does.
Wi-Fi,
So
You
on
know, he's like
Wi-Fi.
an older
Yeah.
because he doesn't understand
He doesn't
technology
understand
like
it.
Wi-Fi.
But
and
it's
Bluetooth.
What are you trying?
on Wi-Fi, and so I need you to I need you to get more comfortable with that. I need you to get more comfortable with that.
Okay. I'll try my
Because at
best.
some point, I want you to be able to do a group class and not have to use your leash at all.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be
We have only a few people that do that, and
Yeah.
they're really. Oh, Ginger, Penny,
Yeah.
Indy.
Yeah.
There were a few people that were really
So
good.
I need
at
you to
that.
get to
Hey.
that point where you can just do off-leash stuff with being into
Yeah.
your dog. But the only way you're going to get there is if you get more repetitions and working with your collar.
Yeah. Thanks for being hopeful for us.
We are so hopeful for you.
So helpful. Diego's
Extremely
way more
helpful.
helpful.
What?
So,
What's
on
our
that
sign
note,
off?
you have anything else to say, Diego?
Are we about to wrap this up?
Yeah.
I'm eyeballing this bag of pozole right now, and I'm just.
You going to do what to it?
Listen to me. Listen. That's what I'm gonna do to it.
All right. This has been.
Sounds like a great pickup line. But
That's a sexual harassment charge. If I just went up to a lady and I was like, "Hey, you trying to go back to my?" And they were like, security. They would like look me in my
Silent
eyes. They were like,
environment.
"He's got those crazy eyes things." All right,
Whack. All right.
painfully whack.
all right.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us at the North.
hold on.
West
Wait,
Dog
Marcus
Center.
got to do it.
Bam, 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 throwing shots
The
all over
worst.
the place. Bam, bam,
I
bam.
hate it so
Wait.
Oh yeah, there you go. That should be interesting to try
hate
to
life.
edit later.
You see Marcus shooting Irie. No.
No, don't. Irie's a sweetie.
She is.
Big old baby.
Hello. She said, "Oh, attention."
Yes.
Oh,
I'm going to get me a
attention.
pit bull this summer.
You're gonna take her off my hands?
No.
Just kidding.
God,
I actually
no.
kind of
He's
like her
getting a
now.
pit bull. I want
Yeah.
a pit bull.
I wanted to
We
be
can show
You
y'all.
might be getting
We
a
should
pit
all get a
bull.
pit bull.
Okay,
We should
Pitbull
all get
Club.
pit bulls.
We were
All
going to
right.
buy a Rottweiler litter earlier today.
I'm not dealing with any more Rottweilers.
Okie dokie.
after
I need
my
to make
hand,
another
so.
call.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, everybody.